Hello, Bryn.
Hello.
What's happened here?
Well, they'll have seen in the last Pembrey video. Quick recap, while we were at Pembrey we noticed after every session I was ending up with about 1/4 of a litre of water in the expansion tank being pushed out. Now that in of itself is not abnormal, that's how these systems are supposed to work. However, when the car cooled down, the water didn't go back in the radiator, which it should have done. When you took the cap off the radiator, it let pressure out even with the car cold, and there was air left behind.
And that's not good.
That's not good. That's not what we're expecting to see. I got a lot of suggestions from people of weird things they've seen in the past, rad caps and things, but the big clue, the smoking gun, was the pressure. There should never be pressure in a cold radiator. The only place that can really come from is inside the head, blowing. So, yes. Now we've proved it. I got bore scope. I'll probably put some videos of me checking things.
Yeah.
We proved that it was bubbling out the radiator when the car was up to temp. I got a bore scope in and I found water. We think water. It's hard to tell, but pretty certain.
You could see something there that shouldn't be there.
There was liquid, and it looked sort of bluey green, which I run blue coolant in number 3. So that is the proof that we needed. Now we've got to pull this head off, find out what's gone wrong. Because the big thing is, a lot of the guys, and I'm pretty sure Dan as well, Dan seems to think what's going to happen here is we're going to pull this head off, throw another gasket on, torque it down, and it'll be fine. But
that's all I'm going to be involved in. So
yes.
From my perspective, that's all that's happening.
Yeah, but you know, these things don't just happen on their own. It's a good gasket. It won't have just failed for no reason, so it's going to have either done some more damage to the head and block or something has caused it to happen. So it's find out what's gone wrong, see if we can sort it out for Pembrey, Teesside in 3 weeks.
Yeah. So are you going down the coolant reroute? Because I know you've been against that.
I was against that, and
conflicting
there was logic to
information
that,
on it.
Yeah, there was logic in that the MX-5 system, for anyone who doesn't know, the water comes in at the front and it comes out at the front. So the conventional wisdom is the front 2 cylinders get loads of cooling and the back doesn't really get as much. Yes, that's kind of true, but I always thought the temperature sensor is in the back where it's hot. So my logic was, when we're out on track, when I see the car getting hot, I'll just cool down. Realistically, that's not what we've been doing. We've been hot lapping. Hopefully the damage is very minimal. It may not even need much work, but it'll probably get a skim. Hopefully the block is fine, and we'll stick it back together and run again. I mean, the thing lasted 2.5 years of very hot running. So
yeah. It's done well.
Yeah, worst case, it'll probably last just as long again.
Best case, we'll put VVT in this as well.
I'm not ready for that now. Now we've done that Pembrey session. That track was amazing. That showed what this car was for. I need to do some more of that, and then I'm ready to blow it up and put a VVT in.
Yeah. Right, let's crack on and pull this out then.
Is still attached. I think that's everything, but obviously as ever, just we'll be careful when we pull it, see what's still attached, what I've forgotten to remove. And the key thing is we will be very careful when we take it off, very, very careful not to damage the gasket.
Oh shit.
Which obviously it's already blown, but we want to have it in as good a condition as possible to try and work out what's failed and why.
Yeah.
That's the key thing. We don't want to lose the evidence when we pull it, because
we want to see the damage the engine has caused it, not us.
Dan! Yeah, and that'll give me a clue as to what's gone wrong. You know, there's a few people have suggested to me head lift, which it's not impossible, but I'm not running that much boost. I'm not running that much power.
Yeah, you're only on wastegate pressure, aren't you?
Yeah, it does creep. So at red line, I'm on about 0.9 bar.
Still not a crazy amount, is it, for one of these?
It's like, you know, 300, 350 wheel horsepower is about when people start changing to studs because they've pulled the engine apart anyway. And this kind of build, it should be fine all day long. So I'm not expecting it to have been head lift, but we need to see, because if it is, I'll have to throw a set of studs in it. But these head bolts should be absolutely fine for what I'm doing.
It's a hammer on their cam.
It's a mallet, actually. We'll have the box over here because we're not going to put any weight in it. We're just going to cover it over. Oh yeah, I'm not going to Is that water and fuel? Really funny, and it just hurts. Ooh.
Getting old's fun, isn't it?
So anyway, I can't carry on. I need a moment. Oh, what if I get my leg down there somewhere? No, this is all a bad plan. This was a silly idea. You can see how horrible the standard machining is on the heads.
Try and get some focus on that. Oh yeah.
You can see it's nowhere near as glassy smooth as people expect, and also the actual spec for a gasket is nowhere near as good as what people think. It's 50 micro inches surface roughness, which is a measure of how tall all the little peaks and bumps are in the machining, and literally our standard surface finish for anything you machine is better than that. So it doesn't need to be the glass finish that people think. You know, the Cometic gaskets will say, yeah, we only want 50 micro inches. So anyway, there is a black mark there between the two cylinders, which looks a bit like a burn. So we will take a look at that. That's literally midway between the two. But I would have thought that the water was sealed between there anyway. But we'll have a look at the gasket in a second, which hopefully isn't ruined because somebody leaned on the head.
Oh shit.
Right, so we gently peel this away. Trying not to damage the coating too much by doing so, but it probably will anyway. Gently. You can see as well, look at the colour on cylinder number 4, that's hot compared to all the other valves. Come on, you bastard. There we go. So, we're looking here. Yeah, you can see it. Well, you're not going to be able to see it on that thing, insert foam clip. But you can see there's a dink in the firing. The firing's all warped. So this has probably happened quite early on. And to be fair, it's a good example to show you really have to be careful with cleanliness, because that may have been just a bit of grit that got in there while I was building it that's crushed the firing out of shape so it can't function. Annoying that it was on the block side, not the head side, but there we go. You can see how these gaskets are made. They're called MLS, which is multi-layer steel, but you've basically got it's too well stuck together. There's a good example. So there's an outer piece which has got a thin Viton rubber coating for sealing water and oil and such, another outer piece, and then between them is just a big thick bit of shim steel, usually more than one, but only the one in this, and that's the fire ring that gives it the strength. And then these outer pieces have got like an embossed ridge on them, so that is a bit of spring basically that pushes down into the head, pushes down into the block, and if you get a little bit of head lift, that spring can kind of move with it and keep it sealed, but not if you have a big fuck off bit of grit underneath it.
Sad.
Well, this looks like the cause. That is some old damage. It kind of looks like a punch mark, but I don't think it is. I think it is just a bit missing out of the surface. So I think that's what's done it. Unfortunately, it's quite deep. So I don't know what we're going to do about that. What I'm going to do is talk to some more experienced engine builders and say, any ideas, gents, on what to do? Because can't really deck this. I haven't.
We need a professional bodger
to
tell us what to do here.
We need a proper grade A bodger. So probably wouldn't have blown without a coolant reroute. I might be able to get away without one.
Yeah.
Arguably, I should still have one.
See, now you don't know. Should you do a coolant reroute and then it not happen again, or do you not do the coolant reroute and it not happen again?
If anyone knows anything about me, if there's one thing I hate, it's options. I really like it when there's a choice that's made for me. Fuck, I hate options. So we'll see about that. But yeah, I mean, we found the cause. It's not a good one, but we found the cause.
Right, so that is the end of that for now. We've laid her to rest under this sheet.
Closed her eyes.
Closed her eyes. She's dead. No, I need to go away now. Have a think about what's actually doable with this. Whether that block's usable, whether it needs to come out and get decked, anything like that. I'm gonna go talk to somebody who knows a lot more than I do. It's kind of not what we wanted. It's nice to find the cause. We can't work out whether that was a bit of debris or it looks like actually the surface is pitted, like there's something pulled out of the surface. It's hard to imagine that would have been there when I assembled it. You'd have thought I'd have noticed that, but it's also hard to work out how that can have happened. So we're a little bit confused on that, but it's kind of not what we wanted to see. It's in the bit that I was hoping would be fine, because cast iron blocks are normally fine, and it's the cast iron block that's let us down here. So yeah, just more proof that life is purgatory and everything is just slightly more difficult than it needs to be. But we'll see how we'll go. We'll come back. I'm not going to say I'm going to come back better than ever, because I really hate that. We're not. It's going to be exactly the same as it was, but with a head gasket that doesn't leak. But
so it will be better.
It will, it will be better than ever. Okay, so we're back. It has been pretty much exactly a week, and a lot of things have happened in the meantime. So we pulled that head off, had a look at the damage, and found a pit or an inclusion. Not really sure what's caused it, but there was damage to the block. So I have since stoned this off, and that is not a joke. That's a real thing. Technical stone, flat all the little bits of damage and everything off the surface of the block, and kind of restored it. And then oiled that back up with a real thin oil. So all we should have to do today is get the brake cleaner on it, completely clean that off, pull all the little bits of blue roll out of all of the waterways and the oil galleries, and then we'll put the head on. The head has been completely stripped, found a bit of corrosion, a couple of pits that weren't coming out with the stone, so we skimmed that, not very much, just sort of 5 thou. Coming for you, Connor, high compression Heinz. So today we will get on and rebuild the thing, stick the head gasket back on, and if everybody watching this can just manifest that this worked out great and that it all worked, I'll steal some of your power from the future, and hopefully everything will be okay.
It'll be fine.
Let's see. acorn nuts because you can just slam a socket on them and it always goes in the right place. Right, so it's getting late now and it's a school night. We've all got to go to bed, get up early in the morning. Literally the only thing this needs now is intake manifold on, exhaust manifold on, plug everything back together and stick the water hoses on and it's ready to fire up. So we're going to leave it at that for now. I'll reassemble all of that stuff in the next couple of days and then we'll get back down here to fire it up and see if it's all okay or if it's all awful. Okay, we're back and got the whole thing back together, a couple of new bits and bobs on it, but it's ready to go. If I look really nervous and dishevelled and tired, it's because I really am. I've been doing this every night this week and now I'm very scared for if it isn't all fantastic and gravy. So without further ado, let's try and fire it up and see if I cry. Yeah, come on, try out there. Well, it starts, which is a good start. That's that dry tapping you can hear.
The old 1.6 TDI's back.
Checking. If you don't have a thermometer and you're trying to diagnose a misfire and work out if one cylinder's not running, get a cable tie. Just touch it to each exhaust runner. If you have one where it doesn't burn up, that's the cylinder that's not running. Easy. Right, so we've got it back together, got it up on stands, we bled the thing, and it kept producing bubbles exactly as it did before. Got the coolant tester on it, didn't change colour before all the coolant came out and went into the tester, which is not a great thing in of itself, but it didn't change colour. We've been out for a rip, and tomorrow I'll see if there's still pressure in the radiator. Honestly, I kind of think we haven't fixed it, which would be incredibly weird. Kind of running out of ideas for what it could be in that case, unless the water jacket in the block's cracked or something, but that would be a little bit unusual. So yeah, we don't know whether we fixed it or not, so find out soon, I guess.
Find out at Teesside.
Yeah. Yeah.